Been a little bit of anxiety around here, like who's going to go in the portal, who's going to go in the portal. You know, the portal will giveth and the portal will taketh away, and it's just the new normal, and we have to embrace it.
Well, even Matt Rule would agree there is nothing normal about what we saw in the transfer portal tonight. Transfer quarterback Kenny Minchey, who committed to Nebraska just yesterday, is reportedly flipping to Kentucky and new head coach Will Stein. A stunning about-face even by transfer portal standards. Minchey's agency even shared reports of his Huskers commitment on social media last night. Somehow the Notre Dame transfer slipped through Nebraska's fingers before things were finalized. Now with the dual threat bound for Kentucky, Rule and the Huskers go back to the drawing board at quarterback. Now, Sam Leavitt headlines the remaining and, sure enough, priciest QBs on the market. Nebraska has been linked to names like DJ Lagway and Aiden Childs in the last few days. Of course, Dylan Raiola announced plans to enter the portal on December 5th.